Thank you to all of you for your attendance today. We extend our warm welcome to everyone here on IABA African Ramadan night, where we strive to enhance the communication between our members, partners, to achieve IABA goals for all of African businessmen. We extend our warm welcome to the ambassadors, to our member of parliament, representative of the ministers and governmental bodies and media professionals. We extend our warm welcome to IABA members and all of our guests. Allow me at the beginning of IABA Ramadan night to invite Dr. Yusri Sharqawi, Chairman of IABA, to deliver the opening welcome speech. Please, Doctor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dear ambassadors and members of diplomatic missions to the Arab Republic of Egypt, His Excellency Ambassador Ihab Awad, Assistant Minister for Foreign African Affairs, His Excellency Ambassador Ashraf Ibrahim, Assistant Minister of Foreign and Head of the Egyptian Agency of Development, His Excellency Ambassador Mohammed Ibrahim, Ambassador of Cameroon and Dean of Diplomatic and African Ambassadors in Egypt, His Excellency Engineer Hassan Abdulaziz, he is the Chairman of African Construction Union, and Parliament Mohammed Kamal Mar'i, he is the head of the Committee of SMEs in Egyptian Parliament, Mr. Yahya Al-Wasif Billah, he is the head of the Commercial Attaché Ministry of Trade and Industry in Egypt, and Mr. Issam Nagar, the head of the Import and Export Control Authorization in Egypt. Dear official representatives of governmental bodies, ministers, and local, international, multinational banks, dear heads of the local and African Association and Organization, and members of the Egyptian African Businessmen Association, gentlemen, guests, media and business partners, happy Ramadan. And I wish you pleasant Ramadan for everyone. We are keen to provide a model of sustainable communication in order to reach a clear platform for reapproachment between the private sector and the Africa financial and business community. The association has aimed and undertaken since its inception to achieve a clear addition and imprint, create a new sprite, and work all levels. So we try to take advantage of all occasions to express the Egyptian and African mission to organize such inspiring, inclusive meetings, the result of which we see very positively through what we have achieved on the ground for the company and entities in terms of introducing products and goods and services and raw materials that we can exchange together between the African private sector. And I take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to the Egyptian political leadership and the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I commend African diplomacy on the continent and the many distinguished African ambassadors to Egypt, from whom we find the greatest cooperation every day, all the time. Whether in arranging and coordinating bilateral visits or with tenders, bids, and investments opportunities, they facilitate for many of our companies by providing all travel procedures. I also deeply express my thanks to all the ambassadors, heads of and members of the Egyptian missions to all the countries of our beloved continent, Africa. And my gratitude for all the help and support we receive in order to fully achieve the occasion goals. Gentlemen, since the association was established 4 years ago, we know that the road is not paved with roses, but it is not impossible. The challenges were enormous, and we were certain that the solution to all the challenges revolved around one element, which was getting to know each other on the continent and eliminating economic information isolation. We had to employ internal capabilities, technologies, internal desire, and above all, the availability of sincere political will among of the continent leaders, which we believe is one of the most important motivations for us to overcome all the challenges. Dear attendees, dear guests, we achieved the results that we did not expect in a short period, and we contributed with many local strategic partners to raising the rates of trade exchange, export and import, with the continent by rates ranging between 15 to 18% during the past 2 years. And we are still at the beginning of the route, but we know the exact destination and are confident in the results. Out of faith, we believe that international trade and economic depend on getting to know each other, building trust, and then moving things smoothly in positive direction. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, now my happiness is that when I visit any of our African countries, I find welcome, hospitality, kindness, simplicity, and the strong ability of everyone to move towards a new stage, which is the stage of the continent's economy for Africans. The African continent needs to benefit from its wealth, youth, and inputs in order to reach the required stages of growth and urbanization that it deserves. When we have provided a lot in short time, but we continue with all strengths and steadfastness in order to deliver the message of closeness, knowledge, information, and support for intra-investment and international trade between the countries of our continent. We launched many initiatives and participated as a strategic partner in many events. I was honored to be one of the ambassadors of the 23 edition of International Trade Fair in Cairo in the November 23. We have more than one ambitious project and product. We worked through an introduction program, and our most important achievements were the following. First, a working day for each African country in order to provide the opportunity for successful models of African business owners to present themselves and their success stories. NAFAZ initiative in cooperation with Senghor University to connect the advanced education community on the continent to work, launching the think tanks among the countries of our continent and bringing together the elite of the private sector between each African country and its Egyptian counterpart until we reach the realization of the dream in 2030 of achieving the first African think tank for the private sector. We received 19 trade missions and delegations to Egypt. We organized 15 introductory field visits to major factories and major industrial areas in Egypt, as well as hospitals, medical castles, and engineering consulting centers and offices. We signed 20 MOU cooperation protocol with the different and diverse parties on the continent. This year, we will launch the largest information platform for the private sector and the African economy, FATA. FATA, it's mean from Africa to Africa. All of the above lead to our effective presence, and we now have 19 representatives of the association in 19 countries of the continent. All of the above enabled us to obtain a database of more than 100,000 updated emails for the private and governmental sectors on the continent, and the number of our followers and on African market needs. We seek a more comprehensive picture and a broader philosophy that not only aims to trade with the countries of the continent, but also to establish agricultural, industrial, and service partnership with the countries of the continent and our friendly partners. There are many important files that bring us together, such as tourism, medical tourism, transportation, and shipping, and we engage in dialogue and discussion with the internal and external partners to raise our solid visions and solution based on applied reality. And we are confident that we are on the right track and the right path. Thank you for coming, and happy Ramadan, and thank you for all, and thank you very much for all the VIPs and for all the delegation coming to us today. شكرا جزيلا لكم. يعني sorry for I will speak a little bit in Arabic language for all the people. Sorry for the diplomatic ambassador from Africa. So شكرا جزيلا لحضوركم الكريم النهارده. انا بشكر سعاده السفير ايهاب عوض مساعد وزير الخارجيه لشؤون افريقيا، سعاده السفير اشرف ابراهيم مساعد وزير الخارجيه للوكاله المصريه من اجل التنميه، الدكتور محمد لبرنج عميد السلك الدبلوماسي الافريقي في جمهوريه مصر العربيه وسفير دوله الكاميرون في مصر، والساده البرلمانيين والساده الحضور جميعا، وكلكم على قبولكم لهذه الدعوه والتشريف الكريم. في الحقيقه احنا سعداء النهارده ان احنا بنقدم ليله افريقيه رمضانيه، واحنا سعداء ان احنا بنكون يعني في نقطه التقاء المجتمع الافريقي. ان شاء الله نلتقي مع المجتمع القطاع الخاص الافريقي من حدث لحدث ومن مكان لمكان عشان نقدم ان شاء الله مع بعض انجازات زي ما قدمنا كتير جدا في الاربع سنين اللي فاتوا. احنا حققنا ان شاء الله بفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى اللي اكتر ما كنا مخططين له، موجودين في القاره وبقى اسمنا كويس جدا في القاره وبنحافظ على هذا المستوى وهذا الليفل. بتكلم مع سياده السفير ايهاب عوض وسياده السفير اشرف ابراهيم قبل ما اطلع هنا، بقول ان القطاع الخاص لابد ان يصنع المسار الخاص به وينتظر رعايه الدوله وتوجيه الدوله. القطاع الخاص لابد الا يلقي بكل ظلاله ومهامه على الدول والحكومات. الحكومات اصبحت جايدنس، اصبحت دليل، اصبحت منظم، اصبحت يعني مشرف على الاداء، لكن القطاع الخاص دائما ابدا يمتلك الحلول. ولازم نستغل توافر الاراده السياسيه الافريقيه الان. مصر الان لديها اراده سياسيه قويه في اتجاه افريقيا وفي اتجاه دول افريقيا، واعتقد انه المتابع للشان الافريقي هيعرف كويس قوي ان الدول العظمى حتى الدول الكبرى اقتصاديا اصبحت تتحدث اقتصاد اكثر من السياسه، والملف القادم هو ملف الاقتصاد المصري الافريقي المشترك. افريقيا تمتلك الحلول، لكن احنا ما كناش عارفين بعض ومش عارفين امكانيات بعض ومش عارفين هم عندهم ايه واحنا عندنا ايه. وفي الحقيقه انا قعدت عايز اقول لكم حاجه هختم بيها. انا كنت في غانا من شهر وانا قاعد مع رئيس اتحاد المستوردين ومعاه حوالي 26 مستورد لمنتجات كتير. فالراجل قال لي احنا بنجيب كل حاجه من الصين بس احنا مش عارفين انتوا عندكم ايه. شكرا لكم.
Thank you, Dr. Yusri Sharkawi, for your efforts which reflect the African context and appear day by day in the association performance. Now, His Excellency Ambassador Ehab Awad, Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs for African Affairs. Please.
سعادة الدكتور يسري الشرقاوي رئيس جمعية رجال الأعمال المصريين الأفارقة، السادة الحضور، سعادة السفير أشرف إبراهيم مساعد وزير الخارجية، أمين العام للوكالة المصرية للشراكة من أجل التنمية، سعادة الوزير المفوض يحيى الوثق بالله رئيس جهاز التمثيل التجاري، السادة النواب والسادة السفراء، الحضور، كل عام وأنتم بخير. نشكر الدكتور يسري الشرقاوي وجمعية رجال المصريين الأعمال المصريين الأفارقة على هذه الدعوة الكريمة وعلى تنظيم هذه الليلة الرمضانية الساحرة والتي تجمعنا جميعا مع أصدقائنا وأشقائنا السفراء الأفارقة في ليلة من الليالي التي نحتفل فيها معا بمستوى جديد ومسار جديد للشراكة بين جمهورية مصر العربية وأشقائها الأفارقة. واسمحوا لي أن ألقي الكلمة باللغة الإنجليزية لفائدة وخدمة أشقائنا وشقيقاتنا السادة السفراء وممثلي المجتمع الدبلوماسي الأفريقي. Dr. Yusuf Sharqawi, President of the Egyptian African Business Association, Excellencies, members of the African Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Ambassador Mohamedou Labranche, Dean of the Corps and the African Diplomatic Corps in Egypt, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great privilege to join you today on this auspicious celebration of the holy month of Ramadan. I wish to thank the Egyptian African Businessmen Association for organizing this celebration and for inviting me, representing His Excellency Sameh Shukri, Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is sending his best and highest regards and wishes for a blessed month to all. Today's event testifies to the important role that the EABA and the business sector in Egypt and across our continent assume in charting a solid path towards progress and prosperity for Africa and its peoples. The activities of the IABA and its capacity to bring representatives of business in key sectors of the economy is well recognized and is further encouraged. Business in the form of trade and investment in Africa by Africans is a catalyst for and enabler of our sustainable development goals as envisioned through Africa's Agenda 2063. From the Africa Continental Free Trade Area to sizable investments in infrastructure development, energy transition, and food security, Africa's private sector represents the continent's most valuable assets and is positioned to lead our collective efforts to transform our continent into a vibrant and dynamic hub for global prosperity. Excellencies and distinguished guests, while the role of government is still crucial and the concept of public-private partnership continues to define our best examples of success on the continent, the role of government is changing and is increasingly confined to creating an enabling environment for business to grow and flourish, just as Dr. Yusuf Sharqawi just alluded to in his opening speech. It is the government's established responsibility to provide the requisite security, the legislative and administrative foundation for a robust business environment. In addition, it is essential that Africa maintains a strong and well-resourced financial sector that caters to the needs and aspiration of business. The role of the Afrexim Bank in incentivizing intra-African trade and investment can hardly be overemphasized. However, there is a clear need for a variety of financial tools and incentives to enhance the element of risk tolerance in the orientation of the business sector in Africa. Incentives must target the key sectors that promise to create jobs, boost intra-African trade, and strengthen the share of Africa's contribution to the global economy. Excellencies and distinguished guests, the crises that besieged the global economy in recent years serve as a constant reminder to us in Africa that we must muster our collective efforts, capacities, and comparative advantages to remain resilient against any such future shocks. The key to a more resilient Africa rests within our own borders, in our maritime economic zones, and most importantly, in our young population. We need to channel the efforts of both government and business to build such resilience. Distinguished guests, I state before you tonight with great sense of optimism that Egypt is repositioning its economy, the second or third largest economy on the continent, to build the type of resilience and sustainability in its efforts to meet the target of its Vision 2030. In this connection, opening up to and integrating with its African partners represent a key component of realizing this forward-looking agenda. To this end, we will continue on the path towards deepening and diversifying our partnership across Africa. In this connection, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the African Group of Ambassadors in Cairo, led by His Excellency Mohamedou Labranche, are planning to commemorate this year the 60th anniversary of the first summit of the OAU, the Organization of African Unity, which was held in Cairo in 1964. To mobilize support of our African sisters and brothers who were yet to attain their independence and freedom. While the goal set out in 1964 has been largely attained, the future holds several opportunities and aspirations that need our collective effort. The commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the Cairo Summit will represent an occasion for Africa's leaders, thinkers, and most importantly, business, to demonstrate our collective determination and resolve to seize these opportunities and to meet these aspirations. I hope and I am confident that IABA will become a viable partner in such an effort. Once again, I thank IABA and Dr. Yusri Sharkawi for this invitation and wish all of you a savory and pleasant Suhoor event. Thank you and blessed Ramadan. كل سنة وانتم طيبين.
I would like, first of all, to thank Dr. Yusri and IABA for organizing this very important gathering, which is, of course, we are in Ramadan with the blessings of Ramadan. Each of us is open to positiveness. So this occasion is for us an occasion to celebrate, but also an occasion to take stock of what has been done in the field of boosting the economy of Africa. Let me first of all say that when Dr. Yusri came to me, when he has his idea, when he has his idea of launching IABA, we had a very profound discussion, because I told him that, yes, another association again, because we know how many associations are in Egypt, how many associations have tried, to bring us together. And I was really skeptical, to tell the truth. But he told me that he is coming not to compete, but to come and build upon what is done. And I say, okay, we'll see you at the task. And I remember for him, it was a little bit difficult, but we received him in our group, and he came, made a presentation, and we gave him, the go-ahead and said, let us see what we would do. He came in a time where really after the tenure of President Abdel Fattah Sisi at the help of the African Union, the push for Egypt and Africa to again emerge as we wanted it to be at the beginning. This push really was for us, African ambassadors here, like an incentive to go further. So, people have been talking of Africa as the new promised land. And we see from each continent, people rushing to Africa, trying to get their part of the gâteau, as they say in French. But we were a little bit surprised that those who were entitled to have the big part of it, I mean, the Egyptian community, the Egyptian business people, which are vibrant, as we know, still are a little bit shying. We didn't know why. The reason, in fact, was that there is lack of, not lack, but there is scarcity of communication for people to know really what the opportunities are. So Eyaba came and they started, to engage. And they engage with the right people at the right time. Because, as you know, African economy now is mostly based on the medium and small-sized enterprises. And those ones, they are very, they are weak, and they need to be pushed, and they need to have the doors open for them. Then they came, and the program that they started was, I think, after 2 years, we see the results. If we are here today, if you see, we are more, I don't know, maybe more than 20 ambassadors of our group here, it's because we believe that, yes, Eyaba has shown that they could be really one of the tools that we need to push our common goal with Africa as a target, economy of Africa as a target, and also to make sure that Egypt, which symbolically, when all things started before our independence, Egypt has always been with African countries, their sisters. So here we are. His Excellency Ihab Awad just said it now. We said that we have to work together to raise the conscience of the Egyptians and the Africans that there is for us a mission to accomplish, because Egypt, maybe many of you do not know, in our countries, Egypt has a very special place, because you remember that all the efforts that the Egyptian governments and the Egyptian people have been delivering to help us attain our independence, we remember that in the hard times, Egypt has always been with us, and we are a little bit not happy that to see that when the time has come to really eke and take out advantage of what Africa has to do, we still are lacking back. So we have clear-cut programs. We have clear-cut vision from our governments, but we need to together work and bring this dream to reality. What are the steps? First, to really open our countries to the Egyptian business community, not only the big ones, but really the medium and small-sized enterprises in fields that are really where Egypt has competitive advantage: agriculture, health, infrastructure, and the digital transformation now is one of the challenges that we are facing. And we know that there is a way, there is a wealth of resources that can be brought together to help us achieve those goals. So, Excellencies, and I am speaking on behalf of my colleagues here, we are really, with all our resources in our embassies, we are here to push that goal. We know the big vision, and Excellency Mr. Awad said it, you know, the governments, they have done their job, they are doing their job. The private sector need to take advantage of what is happening now. The African Free Trade Zone, which is now enacted, need to see real concrete steps. And EABA, for the last year, for example, I saw that in Nigeria, with I think Ghana, with also Tanzania, Zambia, you know, they have done a great job. And we want to see this continue. And we are here with our commercial attaches and economic attaches to see that how we can work together. So be assured that we are with you. The road is clear. What we want to attain is known, and we would like to ensure that we are going to be a success. It will be a success, but the work is to be done, and it has to be done. So now we have all it takes. We have the African Exim Bank, we have the African Development Bank, we have the Egyptian Business Association, which is different from the Egyptian African Business Association. All of us, we need to work. The work is enormous. We are not going to say that this will do this, we will do that. Everybody should come together. And we are here to, and we know that we have the push of our governments, we have the mission that has been given to us. We need to really realize, and I would like to thank you, Dr. Yusri, to tell you that we are together, all the government institutions here, and on behalf of my colleagues, really thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Many thanks, His Excellency, for all your efforts for support the Egyptian-African relations. And now, His Excellency Yahya Al-Wasiq Billah, First Under-Secretary, Head of the Egyptian Commercial Service. Please.
Hello, Ramadan Kareem. I didn't prepare any words because Dr. Yusri knows I was in another appointment and just. So first, I would like to say a few words in English, then a few words in Arabic. Of course, thank you, Dr. Yusri, for this gathering and this lovely event. And also, I'm happy to see His Excellency Ambassador Ihab Awad and His Excellency Ambassador Ashraf Ibrahim and all the parliament members and all the gathering and His Excellency Ambassador of Cameroon in this gathering. And actually, as His Excellency just mentioned, Ambassador of Cameroon, for me, 2 years ago, when I started heading the Egyptian Commercial Service and Dr. Yusri was starting IABA. And I said to myself when he met me, oh, another organization heading to Africa and another businessmen association. And I thought it will be like every other association. We'll talk a little bit about Africa and that's it. And maybe do a function or two a year. But actually what I have found a great progress and a great effort from Dr. Yusri and from his members towards Africa. And in a very short time, we found great achievements on the land in different countries, and we put our hands together with our colleagues in the offices overseas and the embassies, and we did a great job in the last couple of years, and I hope that we can continue like that. And again, I'm not saying this because we are invited from Dr. Yusri, but IABA is different. IABA is different, and IABA towards Africa is doing a great job. And I wish you all the best, Dr. Yusri, IABA, and all your members. مساء الخير، رمضان كريم على حضراتكم جميعا. طبعا بشكر الدكتور يسري على الدعوة الكريمة، وطبعا سعيد بتشريف سعادة السفير إيهاب عوض مساعد وزير الخارجية الشؤون الأفريقية، وسعادة السفير أشرف إبراهيم، وسعادة سفير الكاميرون، والسادة النواب، وزميلي السيد اللواء عصام النجار رئيس هيئة الرقابة على الصادرات والواردات، وكل الحضور. والحقيقة أنا مش هطول عليكم، أنا يعني سعيد جدا بهذا الملتقى وهذا التجمع، ودايما الدكتور يسري وأعضاء الجمعية يعني بيجمعونا في أمسيات طيبة. الحقيقة أول ما يعني دكتور يسري عمل الجمعية من 2 وأنا كنت لسه متولي رئاسة جهاز التمثيل التجاري، واتقابلنا وقلت يعني جمعية أخرى يعني بتفكر تغزو أفريقيا أو بتفكر تتكلم في شغل مع أفريقيا، ولكني عمري لم أكن أتوقع أنه هيقدر في خلال عامين فقط يوصل لهذا المستوى من البنتريشن في القارة الأفريقية أو الدخول في القارة الأفريقية وغزو القارة الأفريقية، وعمل يعني تشابكات أعمال مع نظرائه في القارة الأفريقية، سواء اتحادات، سواء مؤسسات أعمال، سواء شركات على الأرض. والحقيقة سعيد جدا لأن عنده مجموعة متميزة جدا من الأعضاء في الجمعية، كلهم مهتمين بالتجارة مع أفريقيا. والنهاردة أنا شايف أن عنده تقريبا 20 ممثل ليه في القارة الأفريقية، وده الحقيقة إعجاز في خلال 2 أهم حاجة أنك تتخصص في حاجة، والجمعية تخصصت في الشأن الأفريقي والتعامل مع القارة الأفريقية، وده اللي بيفرقها عن أي جمعية أخرى في مصر. جمعية رجال الأعمال أو سيدات أعمال في مصر النهاردة جمعيات تشتغل على العالم كله، لكن النهاردة عشان هو تخصص في القارة الأفريقية فبقى ليدر في هذا المجال، ووصل لمستوى من العلاقات والتشابكات مع مجتمعات الأعمال ومع الشركات الأفريقية بشكل كبير جدا. الحقيقة احنا سعداء كتمثيل تجاري بالتعاون مع جمعية رجال الأعمال المصريين الأفارقة، ومكاتبنا في الخارج دايما يعني يد بيد مع الزملاء في الجمعية ومع الدكتور يسري. بتمنى لك دكتور يسري كل خير وتوفيق ومزيد من التألق والنجاح. خالص تحياتي.
Thank you, His Excellency Yahya al-Wasq Billah. Thank you for your continuous support for IABA. Let me also welcome Dr. Rector Terry Verdi, Senghor University. Thank you, Dr. Please.
مساء الخير. Good evening, everybody. I am very delighted to be invited to this event. Thank you for the IABA for this invitation. I just want to introduce myself very quickly. I am Thierry Verdel, the head of Senghor University. Senghor University is based in Alexandria. It's a university dedicated to African development. And in our university, we have around 200 young professionals coming from all French-speaking countries in Africa. and we have been in touch with the HEABA. We have some exchanges with the companies attached to this union, and we are very pleased to develop new contact with all of you to increase, if possible, the relationship between our students and your companies, because I'm convinced that our students can help your companies developing their business in Africa, and I think your company can offer good opportunities to our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. EABA is always developing itself and achieving its goal in cooperation with a wonderful new generation of the business community. And they are the sponsor of our event today. Let's start with Engineer Mustafa Abdelmawgoud, CEO of Oxygen House. Please, Mr. Mustafa.
مساء الخير، كل سنة وحضراتكم طيبين ورمضان كريم علينا جميعا. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for us to be invited of this wonderful place. We are very happy to be one of the members of the EABA Association tonight. Our company, Oxygen House, has been in existence since 30 years. Our head office in Cairo, and we have two branches, one in Riyadh and now in Kigali in Rwanda. Oxygen House work in field of health care solution and industrial as a turnkey project. We are focusing in hospital, factories, pharmaceutical, universities, and research center. We start as a specialist for medical gas and industrial gas. But with our partner now, we can do the complete job as turnkey solution. Africa is the right destination of Oxygen House at present time and in future, because we are a part of this Africa continent. Also, it has very promising opportunities, and we will add to our dear continent many of our experience. Thank you for this wonderful night.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. And now our strategic partner, one of the most important exhibition organizing companies, الأوائل Company, the organizer of Watrix exhibition, Dr. دعاء عبد الهادي, Managing Director of Watrix. Welcome, Dr.
Good evening, dear esteemed guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. In the beginning, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. دعاء عبد الهادي, the Managing Director of ATF Group, والأوائل Trade Fairs. We are the organizer for Watrix Expo. Watrix Expo is the only exhibition in Cairo and the most important one in the MEA region for water and wastewater treatment. And it is one of the most important exhibitions just related with these sectors. Our exhibitions connect business with potential customers, investors, and partners through high-quality events, providing new investment opportunities in Egypt as we cope with the Sustainable Development Strategy 2025, championed by the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the President of Egypt. Our track records, including successful events like Watrix Expo, Egypt Waste and Recycling, Pool Spa and Landscape, and Pipe Africa. Our upcoming exhibition is Watrix 8th round. It is a specialized exhibition and conference for water and wastewater treatment technologies in Egypt and MEA region. It will take place from 28th to 30 of next April at Egypt International Exhibition Center, Cairo. Watrix Expo has been supported and gained attention of all ministries, as it strengthens the trade relation between Egypt and many countries all over the world. Watrix Expo brings together national and international companies from different countries. We have a lot of exhibitors already from different countries. We have from Africa, we have also from Germany, Italy, and many countries. We have also a lot of attendees from surrounding countries, from Gulf region and Africa. In the last round, we had about 30,000 attendees from these countries. As Watrix is the only gathering point that gathering all the specialized experts in these sectors. Also, we had delegations from Iraq, Syria, Libya, and Saudi Arabia, and many of the African countries. In the last round, we had celebrated the 5 manufacturing joint venture partnership between Egypt's companies and international companies from China, Turkey, Germany, and Saudi Arabia. We are expecting have a booming and special round in 2024. And so we are glad to invite you to attend the next round of Watrix, which will be held from 28 to 30 of April. Finally, we want to thank you all, and we want to invite you all to and welcoming you to our exhibition in the next round. And we also wanted to thank Dr. Yusri Sarawi for this valuable opportunity of meeting you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dua. We will wait all of you at Watrix 2023. Finally, there is a short video about the products of Scoregrass Group for Trade and Industry, the third partner of this African night. Please. So, before we start our main program, let me remind you that IABA, headed by Dr. Yusri Sharkawi, the board of directors, the Supreme Committee, and the executive team created and presented a number of activities that became a brand in the world of businessmen associations, such as IABA Business Day. It's a series of webinars which introduce African countries and the trade and investment opportunity in each country. IABA African campaigns, based on a database of up to 100,000 emails. There is an intro emails sent weekly to highlight the production and export capabilities of Egyptian companies to our database. African Think Tank, an initiative to communicate with IABA members and our business partners in each country in order to collect constructive ideas and facilitate and sustain communication. NAFAZ, an initiative between IABA and Singapore University that works to help Egyptian and African companies communicate in order to support African trade. FATA, From Africa to Africa, an innovative AI platform that works as a database for trade, investment, and African workforce. Finally, African Panorama, as a new kind of awareness. It's a group of videos about some African countries and the opportunities available in each country. Before the main part of our program, let me present you to the IABA gift. Please. It's a group of important files for all exhibitors. You can obtain them by scanning the QR on the screen or on the roll-up at the entrance hall. Just scan the QR to get your gift. Today is an African night. Our slogan is From Africa to Africa. There is many traditional Ramadan nights, but we believe in diversity and innovation. So we thought to stop somewhere far away from others to provide a modern model for the era of economic and commercial culture. Our main part in this event is African Panorama. Tonight, we have chosen a new version of several African countries as a model for introducing investment and commercial opportunities in several African countries. Let me leave you with the African Panorama.
What is Africa? Is it the wildlife, the beautiful coasts, thriving cities? It is more than that. It is the people. Our 55 countries have many things in common. Our cultures bind us together. They give us strength and identity. They make us proud. By sharing our knowledge and working together, we're building a new Africa that's driven by investments, by game-changing infrastructure projects, and using transformative technology to change the way we live, work, and conduct business. Using our largest natural resource, our vast arable land, we are making advances in agriculture, developing new industries, creating jobs, and improving life. By consolidating Africa's significant internal market to foster trade within the continent and with the world, Africa is open for business. We are building the Africa we want. So, what is the continent of the future? The answer is Africa. Business venture be? A key question.
The answer lies in a nation that is the gateway to Africa and the world. With a grand vision, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has boldly forged a path to build a new Egypt. The government, under the guiding principle that a vibrant private sector is the key to inclusive and sustainable development, has implemented an ambitious reform program that has repositioned Egypt on the global investment map, backed with the numbers that are reflecting the efforts to fast-track Egypt's competitiveness in the global arena, implementing effective policies that are transforming the investment climate and exponentially turning growth from small steps to giant leaps in our global ratings, by establishing connectivity and promoting deeper regional integration in Africa. Our advanced infrastructure will accelerate the growth